We're live.
Ready? We're live? Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Glens Falls Industrial Development Agency meeting to order. Apologize for anyone online who has been waiting. The weather here in Glens Falls, together with a short technical problem, has caused our delay, but we're ready to go now. We have a quorum. We have all members here except for John Cordes, who I think is away on a business meeting, but we do have a quorum. The minutes from January 9th, 2020 have been presented to the members for your review. Are there any comments or changes? If none, is there a motion to approve the minutes from January 9th?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Thank you. Let's do the financial report, which is attached, and that is for January 2020. Take a quick look, if everyone could, at that, and you'll see our total liabilities and net assets is $116,032. Not a significant change since last month. Any questions? There being none, is there a motion to accept the financial report and statement of net assets as presented?
I'll make it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is passed. Thank you. Based on that financial report, there are payment of bills for this month. You'll see Schedule A, which is here. Our sponsorship of the EDC Outlook event for 2020, which is $575, and our payment to our law firm, Fitzgerald Morris Baker and Firth, $592 are our two bills for this month. Is there any questions about those? There being none, is there a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills shall be passed. Next month is our annual meeting, and as you know from being on this board in the past, that those meetings can be somewhat lengthy, and we are bringing in others to talk with us, in particular related to our financial report. Our auditors will be here. Our audit is basically done, and we'll have that presented to us. When we moved the start time from 7:30 to 8 a.m. for this meeting, it backs up everyone's schedules. We do have some people that need to leave by 9. My thinking is that if people are eligible that week, that we would do the committee meetings together with the review of our audit, which would include that finance committee meeting, one of the days ahead, either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And I think that we would need about an hour for that, and if people can fit that into your schedule, I'm available any of those days. If we could do it early in the morning or later in the afternoon would help me with my travel, but I think the mayor and I discussed this, and we thought we would do the committee meetings for the IDA, the LDC, and the CDC all at that time. And so
I think that's wise. That's great.
And so on that day, we would be doing on our regular meeting, we would do our annual meeting and our regular monthly meeting, so we could get that realistically done in an hour and
Right.
stick to that 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. time. And so we would move the finance committee and the governance committees to a date earlier. And you don't have to, I don't think everyone's got their calendars with you, but if you could add an email or me an email later today and give your preference for Monday morning, even at, let's say, a start time of 8 or 9, and or an afternoon meeting, say at 4 o'clock, or
Okay.
even 3:30.
It's gotta be Monday?
Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Okay, I was gonna
Any of
say,
those
right.
3 days.
What date, what are you talking about, the dates, the end of this
Ninth.
month or what?
March.
I said before the
I'm
start.
sorry.
March. The
Okay.
week
9
of
through
the week
11.
of our meeting, but the 2 or 3 days prior.
Gotcha.
Correct,
Okay.
so it
I
would,
think it'd be the 12th or 13th it would start.
9, 10.
No,
Our-
9, 10, or
12,
9,
9,
10,
10,
11.
11.
9, 10, or 11.
Oh, seriously. Yeah.
So our
No,
meeting, our
I
regular
was looking
annual
back.
meeting and our regular meetings will be held on March 12th at 8
Right.
a.m.
Okay.
So this additional meeting would be the 9th, March 9th,
Right.
March 10th, or March 11th.
Okay.
And we'll put the, notify the media.
And we'll
everybody.
notify the media, and it'll be
Right.
up on our website as well. So if you could get back to us on that, that would be great. All right, let me turn it over to Ed for your report.
Thank you. Continuing that theme of the organizational meeting, one of the items regarding the IDA is the requirement through the Public Authority Accountability Act and through the Authority Budget Office and through our policies adopted as to certain requirements have to be undertaken by IDA and responses by the 10 recipients of our IDA projects. And therefore, that information we're requesting to be returned by February 28th so that all of the information can be reported and filed under the requirements of the state by March 31st. That is the time that all the organizational, the audit has to be done, our annual report, as well as the information for each of the individual projects. So what I have done is put together a little bit of a guideline because some of these requirements have changed on a regular basis from the state, and therefore I'm trying to clarify to them that essentially for our purposes, there are three major components is the employment data that has to be in. We require, the state requires that if the developer has employees themselves at a project site, they have to report that by providing us the last quarter of the 2019 withholdings that are now done online. They can redact the name of the people and they can
Social.
and the social security numbers with that. If the alternative is, and many of our projects fit into the second category of development where the developer buys the property, constructs a large building and has tenants, there's a requirement that the tenant must provide that information to the landlord in regards to the number of employees that is currently working both full-time and part-time to us. So that gives us a direct look at this mixed development because most developers do not have employees other than maybe maintenance. And if it's apartment complex, you may have a one or two full-time people or part-time people there that are assisting individuals there as well. Examples forthcoming, like the post office that's being restored for Social Security. Social Security will be required to report to us, to Mr. Hoffman, the number of employees that they have. And this is the first time that we'll be dealing with a federal agency, but we'll take that up if there becomes an issue. They're not there this year. It'll be more of a next year issue in that regard. So number one is the employment data. All this information I'm talking about has to be concluded by February 28th. Secondly is the sales tax information. Even the sales tax information that they're required to file is a 340 form, and I'm going to pass out, you can see all of this, requires you during the period of your pilot. So if you have a 10-year pilot, a payment in lieu of taxes, you must file every year the report, and even if you're not expending any money. Certainly most of these projects, it's 1 or 2 years of construction and the rest of the time, and there's been a presumption by the developers that they don't have to file this form. Incorrect. You have to file and you put a 0 in. They are required to file that with the Department of Taxation by February 28th and also provide us with a copy of that so we have a copy to see that indeed that they have filed their information in that regards. And the final one is the timely payments in lieu of taxes, the payment in lieu of taxes. They're required based on the schedule of the city controller of when they're paid to pay us. So they'll be providing us the 2019-2020 payment for the school tax. We already have that, and all of the IDA recipients have paid their school taxes. The city-county tax bill, is not technically due, according to Susan, until late February. So,
Right.
because they have that same amount of time, they do not go out at the same time the regular bills, go out.
Right.
And we're gonna try to see if we can get that out a little bit earlier. And then finally, is the city water and sewer is also included as a requirement that they have to pay that as well. So all of that information will come in at the time. Now, in the event they do not comply with those terms of filing documents, and after discussions, the IDA has the authority to review and determine what steps, if any, would be taking, ranging from a discussion with them up to the point of recapturing prior benefits or basically terminating the payment in lieu of taxes or the sales tax in the event of this. This is something that is important. We welcome the development in downtown Glens Falls, and it's certainly this program has been extremely helpful. There are incentives, benefits that are awarded by this IDA, and therefore there's a responsibility by the developer to follow these rules and regulations for compliance with these items here. And so I think by putting this together, there should not be any question as to what their requirements are. So.
Have those requirements been incorporated into our agreements
Yeah.
with all of them? I know we've been
Yes.
doing this a long time,
Yes.
and
Yep, Kara's
So-
been very good in putting all of that in.
so I would recommend we get it posted on our website as well.
It is
So
going on.
it is. So people who are looking.
Sarah's
to-
got that, I wanted to review this before, she's got it, she's ready to punch the button and have it on, but
So we can have a chance to take a look at this hard copy before you
Yeah.
put it up there.
So those are the forms, and the forms basically come out of the formats from our applications and so forth, and through ABO for that to be done. Kara, did you want to add anything?
I don't think so. The closing documents require them to submit everything to us in the timeframes that I discussed. So it's really a matter of making sure that the companies are complying with those requirements.
And we gave them a sample of the form. Sometimes
Yeah.
the individuals that oversee the project do change, and particularly the one that has been a question always is that sales tax that I made reference to, because they say, well, we've utilized our sales tax savings, but this is another way of a check and balance that they have to come in and put a zero in order to get it done. As well as the fact it's an ongoing tally of what tax savings they still may have left. And again, I put in there that you cannot exceed. If you exceed, then all the whistles and bells go off. They have to come to the IDA before they are going to be exceeding those tax savings. We have done that an extension with the Queensberry Hotel, you may recall, a couple of years ago. And we also did that, we're doing this with 70 Warren Street. The IDA will be considering that with Mr. Hoffman, because construction changes, the tenant fit-ups cause a little increase in doing that, but those have to be done in advance.
Has
So-
this already gone out, the deadline?
Yes, it has.
It's
Yep.
already gone out.
Yes.
So this is just, you're just reporting to us, it's not
Yes.
a draft?
Right.
Okay.
Yes, and Kara's been very helpful, and what we do is we will send out another reminder next week. We will also call them. We have to contact people in order to get this done in a timely fashion. I can report that 14 Hudson has already complied with their requirements for 2019.
Okay,
So
that's
one
good.
down and 9 to go here.
Any questions or comments?
That's good.
Okay. All right. So, I think you'll note from the minutes from last month, and I think you're aware that we were anticipating having the folks from 70 Warren Street, the post office renovation project, come before us today. that is still on hold. They're still making adjustments to their proposal. So hopefully we'll hear from them next month. We'll wait and see. So that's all I have, unless there's any other business to come before the board at this time. There's no need for executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.